What's up, YouTube? So, what am I going to talk to or say today? You never know with these videos. So yeah, let's get started. A while back I tried to update a dating video, but it didn't seem to go through. So, I'm going to talk to you recently about what's going on in my love life, mentally and physically, and make some pointers. Okay. So, real quick on my update on my life. I joined a gym. I'm doing Zumba classes, which I love. I'm on a new prescription to help with the weight. So, last time I was on it, I lost like 40 pounds. And so that was awesome. And I can't wait to see how it's going this time. Right now, though, it's giving me dry mouth, which is awful because I have to drink water all the time. Okay, that's a little bitty quick bit. Okay, so, sorry about that. Dating. What it's like to date as a big girl. The struggles, the mental struggles, the insecurity. Yeah, so, I know my cousin watches this, and so, what's up? Anyway, hi. There might be some stuff on here that you might not want to listen to. So, just FYI. Okay, so let's start about dating as a big girl. I'm a big girl. In my last post, as y'all know, that I talked about my weight and this and my stomach and everything. And I am comfortable in my skin. Like everyone asked, are you not comfortable in your skin? I am. There's just and not to bash my family or anything, I love my family, but my health is causing a major concern with my weight, and I've done this for years, and I guess finally this year I'm finally like taking a hint in my head, like, hey, you need to get it done. And so, but then I have family who talk about my weight all the time, so yeah. Anyway, enough about that. I'm not here about my weight, but here about dating. I have been told by men and women that I'm gorgeous and I'm beautiful. And I've been told by men that I am beautiful and no matter what I look like. And for me, that's hard. For me, that's really hard to understand. When you're used to being 130 pounds to 150 pounds growing up most of your life, it gets very interesting. Whoops. Camera. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. Sorry, my phone fell. And you got a real close up of my chin. So, when you're going through high school and your 20s, and in your high school years, you're like 130 to 145 pounds, and you're big chested, all the guys love you, right? A lot of the guys in high school, oh yeah, you're so good looking because you're a toothpick and you got big chest. Okay, that's what I went through in high school when I wasn't getting bullied. Cool, whatever. Have a kid, quit playing sports, gained weight, was 230 pounds when I had 211 when I had my kid. I have fluctuated from 200 to 300 pounds since 2006. I look my best at 200. I don't have this really at 200. And so, yeah, it's fluctuated. Well, now my liver, went to the doctor this Tuesday. My liver enzymes are still elevated and it's not looking good. And my kidney is not flushing out everything that it needs to, so really concerned. So I need to get on the ball. So when your health acts up and you're big, you don't want to date. But you have that urge for someone to lie next to you and just hold you. Or someone to walk with you and hold your hand. And it not be a family member, someone there to support you also that's not a family member. And so as I mentioned, I think maybe, I can't remember in the last video, that I moved from Houston to a small town. And it's like everyone knows everyone. And everyone knows my grandma or my cousins. And that's awesome. Don't get me wrong. That's cool. But it's also hard to even like try to date. And even as a big woman, you're even more insecure about moving to another city and whether or not they're going to accept you, you know. Because there are some people, mind here, which I won't mention, but I know my cousin will know, that they're ashamed of having someone big. Or they talk about everything in the world about them being fat. And it's rough, and you get down in your own insecurities about being big. And don't get me wrong, there are aspects of my body I love, and aspects of me I love. And a lot of times, I don't share them out loud because it's kind of hard to, when ever since you were big, or started getting big and got bigger, you know, you've been put down for it. And it's not their fault, it's mine. I let it happen to me. I let it happen for them to down talk me. I let it happen to me to get big. Someone who I won't mention, said to me that, I think you're the biggest I've ever seen you. And I said, no, when I was married, though I'm divorced, I was bigger in my wedding. And they couldn't believe it. So that has a real effect on dating. Now let me tell you, now that's about your body, right? So let me tell you about the mentalness of dating. When you suffer from depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, fatty liver disease, and you have multiple health issues, and even though some of them you can't see on a daily basis, well, a lot of them actually, unless I'm really sick, like if I get a stomach virus or the flu, my body just shuts down. That you can see. But when it's more of a mental status, you don't see that all the time. And when people who don't mean harm, really, and they're just saying how they speak, it affects you not only emotionally and maybe physically, but mentally really a lot. And so when you're trying to date, especially in a small town, or get to know people online, which is, it can be safe, but it also can't be safe. You have to be fearful of that, and I'll get back to that in a second. The reason I'm bringing up the mental stuff is because my grandmother's pastor talked about depression last week, and we're going to finish that part after Easter. And I told him today, I said, I loved what you said. And it was great. And so, but when you start talking to someone and they say you're beautiful and they love your personality and stuff, you know, you're thinking in your head, really? But I'm a big girl. Or you ask them, what kind of woman do you like? And they say, I like a curvy woman with a big personality. And great, okay, cool. But you're still like a little unsure. And then your mentalness comes into play. You're like, okay, cool. And then, so you talk to someone. Okay, I'm going to bring a real life event here. Okay. Met someone online like a year ago when I was going through my divorce. Met him online on a dating site. We exchanged Hangouts. It's an app, so I didn't give him my number. And then he was on Instagram. Right, and he's been chatting me for a whole year, and I told him, you know, look, I'll be your friend, because I didn't trust him enough, especially because it was online. Okay. Well, recently, you know, he has said several things in this past year that made me even believe that he was not who he said he was. So I did a Google image search, which I should have done a long time ago, and found that picture on tons of different dating websites and Russian websites. Well, then I thought, I'm going to reach out to that show on MTV called Catfish. And I sent them all the stuff because I really wanted to know, because I know they do their research, if this guy was legit or not, because then I would feel like a fool, right? Well, they called me back. I was shocked. Got a phone call from them, and said that they had looked over my information and was like, okay, and we talked and asked me questions, and they said, well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but it seems like it is a scammer. It's not a real person. He might be a real person, but they're using his pictures as a fake person. Wow, okay. Very interesting. Nice to know. So what did I do? I told the guy to leave me alone. I told him, yeah, I had you investigated. I know who you are. I know you're a scammer. If you contact me again, you'll have an issue. I blocked him on everything that I had him on, and thankfully, I don't hear from him because I blocked him. Thankfully, he didn't have my number. He didn't have my Facebook either, so that's a good thing. So yeah, it's very interesting. So when you have that and you're dating online, your mind goes everywhere, and then your mentality goes everywhere, and you freak out. And then you don't trust people. And when you already have trust issues enough with your ex-husband, it's just like, wow, I really want to trust somebody. So yeah, mentality in dating sucks, especially when you have all these things mentally wrong with you. And even though people are like, oh, you're depressed, yeah, okay, sure. Oh, anxiety, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't see that. Okay. If I could fill up this room right here behind me, okay, with every single one of my mother, father, and my sisters, and even my closest friends, and ask them the same question, does Brandel have depression, anxiety? Or even my cousins in an hour and away from here, when my grandpa passed, and they saw it. I could line them all up right here, and they could tell you that I have depression and anxiety. I mean, growing up, I wanted to kill myself more times than I could think of. And I would get right to the point to do it. But I couldn't do it. I could not, so to speak, pull the trigger. Never with a gun, though. But I'm just saying, as a reference, I could never pull the trigger and doing it. I mean, I remember lining up a bottle of pills, like 4 or 5 narcotics that I had for my back. And I took them downstairs and told my mother. I was so exhausted from working too much and mentally exhausted that if she didn't take these hard narcotics right here, I would kill myself. I've seen a therapist since I was 13, on and off. And so when you have clinically diagnosed depression, it affects your dating. It affects the way you think on dating. You're not crazy. Don't get me wrong, you're not crazy at all if you have that. But then people think, well, oh, if you're clinically depressed, you must be crazy. Look, I would let y'all know if I was crazy or not, for real. Y'all would know. And it sucks trying to date. With all that said, now, what do I want, right? What do I want in dating? What do I want in love? Well, I'm 33. I'm not getting any younger. And I hope one day I'm blessed with another man who treats me way better than my ex-husband. Don't get me wrong. I had fault in my marriage. My ex-husband had a bigger part in it. I don't blame him anymore. I've let it go. I don't want to hold a grudge against him because I don't wish him any ill. Okay. So that said, what do I want? I want a man who's going to love me. Not only just for me, but no matter what size I am. If I'm 280 pounds, if I'm 120 pounds, if I can have children again or not, because, you know, I tried so many times with my ex-husband and miscarried twice and never was able to get pregnant again. And my body doesn't regulate like most women can to have babies, and I wish that was possible. I would love one more, even though I have a beautiful daughter who I said in the last video I placed for adoption, and love her parents and love seeing the videos and photos and everything else. It's just, there's that part of me that wants another baby. Now, am I financially stable enough to probably have a baby? No, not really. I'm not where I need to be to have a baby. Not even on my own. So I want to find someone who loves me for me. One who encourages me and challenges me on an everyday basis. Who encourages me to try new things. Who will support me when I try new things. Not financially, but emotionally and maybe even physically. Someone who doesn't mind taking adventures with me and having a good time, and understands that there are some days that my depression is going to take a hold. And it's not something they did. It's not something that anybody did or something. There might just be something that my mind says, hey, not today. And that's what people don't get. I don't care about looks. Trust me. If you could see all my exes in my life, you would know. I went from range to range to range. I don't care about looks. I care more about the mentality of the person, their personality, the way they handle themselves, the way they love someone. So yeah. It's hard to date when you're big and you have mental issues. Well, not mental issues, but depression. And it's hard to date. And, you know, and it's also hard. Okay, so now on my next subject, it's hard to date, right? Well, I've been on dating websites for, I don't know, since I became divorced, I guess. And you have to be worried about them, because some can be scammers, some could be real, but then they have problems, and then others could be real and married and not tell you about it. So, like, I'm talking to someone, right? We have a connection. He works in the oil field, right? Works in a few towns over in the oil field. My mother said, you be careful, because a lot of these oil field guys, da 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 da. And I get her, and she's being protective. You know, out of all her daughters, I'm the one that will just go do something without thinking about it. And so I get where she's coming from. Well, I'm talking to someone. And yes, he's in the oil field. And yes, he's busy all the time. And yes, we've never met in person. And yes, it's hard to not know, okay? So I did a background check on him. Came back clean. No wife, no children, no aggravated assaults, no criminal record, everything, okay? And we're friends, but we're friends, and we're gonna stay friends even if nothing romantically happens. And I hadn't heard from him for a week because of the storms and everything else going on. And so finally I heard, and he said, I just didn't want to disappoint you anymore because I'm always so busy. And I said, well, did I say that? I said, do you still like me? You still want to get to know me? He goes, yes, of course. And I said, fine. Well, let's continue to talk. There's no harm in getting to know someone. We talk on the phone. Great. I said, do you feel like we have a connection? He goes, yeah, that's what scares me the most, is I feel like we have a great connection. Honestly, and it scares me because we've never met in person. I said, I'm in the same boat. We're in the same boat. I said, there is something about us both that is drawn to each other. And there's that connection, and we've never met. I said, so let's just continue, right? Okay. Well, even though I'm talking to this person, I still have all my dating sites, but I don't really pay attention to them on my phone. Well, today I got a message from some guy who was like, he said he was in the U.S. Navy, all tatted up, good looking. He said hello. I said hello. And then that was it, right? Well, then he kept blowing up my phone on my app. Kept saying, hey, do you have the WhatsApp app? No, I don't. Sorry, I'm not interested in talking. He goes, well, why not? Are you single? I said, well, I'm talking to someone. Well, that technically means you're still single. Yes, but I'm not going to get the WhatsApp app because a lot of times scammers use that app. Well, I happened to look on his profile at his pictures, and he only had 3, which kind of was like, I don't know about this. Well, on one of his pictures, it said at something something, right? I'm not going to say because I looked on his Instagram, okay? And it went to an Instagram photo and a page, and I looked at it, and there's all these Instagram, right? Well, then it said married to, and this woman. So I called him out on it, and I said, well, it shows that on your Instagram that you're married. I'm a widow. I said, really? Because I'm an investigator when it comes down to it. I research a lot of things. I'm a technology girl, okay? And I looked on it, and I saw the wife. And so I clicked on hers, and she had posted 2 days ago. How are you a widow if 2 days ago? And I read her little statement, because you know on Instagram you can write underneath your picture what your picture is. And she goes, the face I get when people DM me about my husband's picture on a dating profile and he's trying to hit me up. And then it said hashtag scammers, hashtag scammers. So I found the guy on Instagram again, and I messaged him. I said, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you right now. Not trying to start anything, but this picture is on a dating website, and the guy hit me up saying he was widowed, and that he's trying to get with a lot of people on POF, and I think he's using your pictures illegally. I just wanted to inform you if this was you or not. So sorry to bother you. Not trying to start anything with anybody. Well, the guy liked the photo and replied, yes, it's fake. I said, thank you. Okay. So you have to worry about that. And especially when you're a big girl and you have confidence in yourself, but you have a little restraint from past relationships and past abuse in relationships and everything else. And I'm not going to go into that. So it's like, what in the world? But yet I'm dating, right? I want to date. Haven't been on a date since I've been divorced. And I would like to. I'm not in a rush, but I get lonely. Or just have someone to talk to that's not family. Don't get me wrong. I know my cousin's probably going to watch this. I love my family. And he probably will tell you, I love my family. Does certain people in my family irritate the heck out of me? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But even if I'm not blood related because I'm adopted into this family when I was a baby, I don't care if they're blood or not. I would stand in front of them and take a bullet for any one of my family members. And especially my sisters and my mom. I'm a little resilient on my dad. But that's because my dad can handle himself. Okay? So I would tell my cousin Zach, I would take a bullet for him. We share the same birthday, different years. But he's like my brother. And he's my cousin. You know, that's how our family is. I know 4 generations of my family. I know my grandmother's siblings' children and their children and their children. We get together every year. I would take a bullet for any one of them. Because that's who I am as a person. But it's hard as a big girl in a big group of a family when you're the biggest one now in the family. And you get told that all the time. So when you get told that all the time, how are you going to go date? How are you going to find someone? Because I do not want to be, what's that game? Card game? Oh, the old maid. Sure, I want to be the fun aunt to all my sister's children. And all the many children they have. Sure, I want to be the fun aunt. But I also want to be the not so big aunt. And the happy aunt. And the one who's going to be in love. And share a home with someone. And be there for, oh gosh, I'm getting emotional. And be there for someone. So if anyone out there, I know I only have a few followers and I know my YouTube's not whoa. But if anyone does happen to come across this and you're a big woman or big man, I hope that y'all are happy and in love or finding someone and being with someone. And because if you're anything like me, you totally understand that it's not as easy as if I was still a toothpick. Sure, if I was a toothpick and still had the same chest, I probably would not have a problem finding someone. But then what happens if I gain weight? Are they still going to love me? Or what if I find someone now and I'm a big girl, right? And then I lose weight. Are they still going to love me? You never know. Like the guy I'm talking to, who I really like, and I want to get to know and I want to meet and see what happens. He likes me. He likes me for me. I showed him a photo of me, a full photo of me. I was in this really, like a shirt kind of like this with a other shirt that had flowers, and I had my hair done. It was a little longer than this because I just chopped off my hair, thanks to my cousin. And he said, "You're gorgeous." He's like, "Why are you single? You're beautiful." And I told him, you know, I need to lose weight for my health. And he goes, "Whatever you need to do, I'll support you. But just so you know, I'll like you for no matter what you are." He goes, "I just hope that you still have some curves even if you lose weight." Well, I'm a big hipped girl, so I'll still have my hips. But it's just like, it's nice to hear that you're beautiful, even though if you don't 100% believe it, like I'm 85% believe that I'm beautiful. Okay. And he texts me every day, "Good morning." I don't have to text him. He'll text me. And then when work is too busy, he'll say, "Hey, you may not hear from me for a couple days because of this." Well, when you work in the oil field right now, and with all the gas prices going up and what's going on where he's at, because was a big storm and a lot of things have happened because it's been in the newspaper, you totally understand that, right? So yeah, I was hoping this wasn't going to be a long video, but unfortunately it is. So yeah, I just encourage everyone who is big girl, skinny girl, big man, little man, no matter your age, if you have, you know, depression, PTSD, anxiety, health issues, it gets hard for us, but, you know, we'll be blessed. And I know for a fact, I'm going to say this real quick before I get off here. I know for a fact if I had killed myself, I would not get to see my daughter, who will be in 8th grade next year, run tracks this year from a video from her father, her adoptive father. I would not get to see her at 18. I would not get to see her get married, hopefully. You know, I would not get to see that. And if I hated myself every day and did that, I wouldn't see this beautiful girl that I gave birth to and I loved 9 months in my body, and even loved to this day every day, and think of her every day. And that's what I don't understand about certain people who say, well, just because you gave birth to her, you're not her mother, or oh, because you talked about her all the time, or you talked about her in certain things that put a strain on our marriage. I shouldn't have brought that up, sorry guys, but anyway, that's my kid. Whether I raise her or not, that's my kid. And yes, am I still suicidal? I have suicidal, let me rephrase this because I saw this on Facebook and I loved it. I have suicidal, sorry, I can't speak today, tendencies and thoughts. Doesn't mean I'm suicidal. Doesn't mean, okay, just because I have a thought of, wouldn't it be like a couple days ago I was down and no, a week ago I was really down in the dumps and thought, wouldn't it be better if I just ran my car into a bridge and got it over with? Did I do it? I'm still here today. Wouldn't it be better if I just took all the money out of my account, took my car, and just disappeared? Who would that be better for? My family? No. Would it be better for me? Maybe. But then I would be even more depressed because I'm missing my mother, my sisters, and my family, my father, my kid. So what does that do for me? Nothing. So I can still have those thoughts. I can still have images of, well, what if my car flipped over in the rain like it was raining yesterday? What if it just flipped over when I accidentally hydroplaned on a dirt road yesterday? Would it be better? No. I can have those thoughts every day for the rest of my life. Doesn't mean I'm suicidal. Doesn't mean I'm going to act on it. And if a man can love me through all of that, then he's worth keeping. And I hope I find that one day. I'm not saying this guy is going to be it for me. Who knows? But I just want to date. I want to find someone. I've been single for a year. I went through a hell of a marriage at the end. It was good in the beginning and it was hell in the end. And the divorce was gross and I hated it and I hated him and do I like him? No. Do I hate him? No. Do I have to? No. I don't care. But I'm not going to wish him ill. So, yeah. If you actually do watch this and you want to ask questions, write it in the comments. Or if you're not subscribed to this and you happen to see it on YouTube and you want to know more, hit me up. I do have a blog where I blog. I haven't written in a long time and I'm going to be updating that today as well. So, yeah. Let me know what y'all think. But that's this video vlog today, dating as a big girl. So, anyway, love you all, and I know my cousin watches, so I love you, and I'll see you later tonight. Bye.